Hi BookTube, it's Stephanie. Today I'm going to share with you my library haul. So the books that I have out from the library now at the end of March. And if you watch my last one, not all of those books are read right now because they just weren't. In some cases I ran out of renewals, and in other cases I just didn't feel like it, or I DNF'd it or whatever. But yeah, so these are the books that I'm currently having out from the library, and I am in the middle of okay, this is dangerous. So I'm in the middle of 3 of them. 2 of these I had out also the last time. The first one being In the Hand of the Goddess by Tamora Pierce. This is the second book in the Song of the Lioness series or quartet. I did end up returning the other 2 books, book 3 and 4, because I had one more renewal and I could do it because no one was requesting them. However, in April there's the Owls Readathon, and I was doubting whether or not I would be able to finish them. And also since I need to pick up my pace with reading the BookTube SFF books. But I'm liking this so far. It's very easygoing. I'm mainly reading this on the train at the moment, so it's not fast going, but I probably will try to pick up the pace next week. The second book I've started of my library books, I'm so happy that I have started it. It's Greyminder by Melissa Marr. I'm just like 3 chapters in. I have like a week and a half to read it, and I need to return it because I run out of renewal, and I will not return this again without having read it. And this is like a paranormal fantasy. I don't really know the different thing with paranormal and urban fantasy. For me, those are in the same category. But yeah, I am liking this so far. I'm just, what is it? I'm on page 16. Like, the chapters are ridiculously short, and this will probably replace what was the book name? In the Hand of the Goddess, for the book that I'm reading on my train. But so far so good. It's not bad. So far, as I said, 15 pages. It has a lot of the classical YA-ish cliche things, but I still feel like the whole premise of the book seems pretty unique. So hopefully I will actually enjoy this, because I have not had a good experience lately with YA. And then the one that I'm so happy that I started is The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington. He's an Australian author. He self-published this in 2015, and then Orbit picked it up in 2016 and published it themselves. This is so good. It's massive to start with. It's so good. This is about mainly a boy named Devian, who it turns out to be something called an augur, which is not really too... Basically everyone says that they need to be executed if you find one, but he escapes from the school where he's at before a set of trials, and it's just... and it's so good. You have no idea who the villain is, because there seems to be this huge thing with the boundary that's weakening because the augurs are not in power anymore. But is it true, or is it just something that's happening, or what's going on? We have basically slave conditions for people called the Gifted, which can use essence, which is like a magical power. And we have, not slave like, it is slaves. And It's so good, and I have no idea what's going on. And so this is definitely the best book I've ever picked for a buddy read, and I'm so happy after The Gilded Wolves. I'm so happy that I picked this up. It's good. It's really good. And the thing is, this is massive. And one thing that I love is that if this had been on YA, the point where I'm at now, it would have the book would have ended and then it would have continued. This is 3 massive books. I think it's a trilogy, and that's where it's supposed to stay. I think. I don't know. I spent too much time talking about this book. I'm loving it, and I love the fact that we are following teens, but this is still an adult book. It's definitely not of YA, but it's like things don't always go right, and it's not like, oh no, they fail and it's a catastrophic fail. It's like, oh crap, things are now more difficult, but it's not like the end of the world just because they failed. And it's like, it's reasonable, it's logical, it's not like the main characters don't know everything, and the way they find out or be told it is not too much of an info dump. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I've talked way too long about this book. The last book that I have, that I also talked about in my last library haul, is the Dragonborn Share by Tad Williams. This is another first book in a series, in a trilogy, and this has a very classical fantasy story arc to it, which it's a kitchen boy that needs to go on a journey to find a sword, I think. I don't know. And yeah, this one I technically actually returned to library and I picked it up again, but yeah, the only reason why I still have it, because otherwise I would have to return it because my renewals would have ended. My renewals, I wouldn't have any more renewals. There we go. So the next book I have is All the Wind-Wrecked Stars by Elizabeth Bear, and I will need to look on Goodreads because in 2009, when the library got this, they basically removed the flap with the information about what the book's about, which, thanks. So this one says, I'm just going to read straight from it because I have no idea how to make it shorter or whatever. It all began with Ragnarok, with the children of the light and the tarnished ones battling to the death in the ice and the dark. At the end of the long battle, one Valkyr survived, wounded, and one Valraven, the steeds of the Valkyr. Because they lived, Valdregard was not wholly destroyed. Because the Valraven was transformed in the last miracle offered to the child of the light, Valdregard was changed to a world where magic and technology worked hand in hand. 2,500 years later, Marie is in the last city on the dying planet where the technomancer rules what's left of humanity. She's caught sight of someone she has not seen since the last battle. Mingan the wolf is hunting in her city. I have no idea what this is about. The reason why I picked this up was because this is the first in the series. The reason why I picked this one up was because I was intrigued by a later book in the series. So obviously I will start with book 1. We'll see what I think about it. Then we have Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames, and the only thing I know about this is that we are following a group of mercenaries that are now retired, but in their heyday they were like the most famous mercenary band in the entire country or something. But the main characters, at least I think it's the main character, his daughter gets kidnapped, so now he is collecting this old retired gang back into action to find his daughter, and apparently this is very funny. The next book I have here is Kiss of Steel by Beck McMaster. This is a steampunk romance novel, and It's, yeah, it's a romance, steampunk. It's vampires, werewolves, clockwork creatures. Yeah, it sounds, basically it's a steampunk paranormal romance mixture. Except in steampunk you can have vampires and werewolves, it makes total sense. But this, yeah, it's about a person that's extremely innocent, and obviously she will be the main character's salvation. I'm hoping this is some trashy fun. Next one I have here, The Atlantis Gene by A.G. Riddle. This is a science fiction mystery book, and this is, yeah, it's what I get from the synopsis is that it's part of it is about where humanity came from, but also some kind of threat that's awakening. I don't know if it's aliens or if it's something more fantasy-esque, but this community of people, or the Imari, and they have spent millennia. So what are, like for me that's alien or some kind of fantasy thing, and basically it's a threat that 99.9% of the population need to be sacrificed to elevate this threat so that humanity is saved. Yeah, this is actually, this is sorted as mystery at my library, but yeah, I want to know what this is about. Next book, we have a massive one, and this is also a debut. This is by Peter Aurelian, and this is The Unremembered. This is, the author has apparently worked at Xbox, and yeah, and what I read shortly, not on Goodreads, on some other page, this basically has a very gamey feel to it, like the way you move around in video games. There we go, no glare, please and thank you. And this is about a world where the gods managed to seal a person in a place called Born, and he's kept there with all these creations that he made that are very hateful, that are very dangerous, and they are kept there by a veil and song. And then as time moves on, millennia, people start forgetting, people like it's just myths, and this veil is fading, and these animals and creatures get out. When I read the full synopsis, which is actually very lengthy, it's very tiny print, all of that is the synopsis, it really sounded like a video game. So yeah, we'll see if I get to this. I've never heard anyone talk about this, so that's probably why I was so intrigued by it. And also the name, The Unremembered. It sounds mysterious. That was very corny said of me. I'm gonna keep it. So now we come into some fun things, and if you watched my Ausreadathon, yeah, none of those are, you will have seen these three. These are short stories by Agatha Christie. We have, oh crap, The Blue Uranium Moon, whatever, The Unbreakable Alibi, and The Horses of Diomedes. One of these is a Poirot one is a Miss Marple one, and I don't recognize the name of the last person that we are following. And yeah, short, fulfilled some prompts for the owls, sole reason why I got them. Probably would have picked them up anyway, if nothing else in like a bind up of them, because I am finished with the novels of Miss Marple, so I just have the short stories left to read about that, and then it's Poirot time to finish those. Then we have they bought it in. This is Terminal Uprising by Jim C. Hines. This is book 2 in the Janitors of the Post-Apocalypse. This is the sequel to a book that I really enjoyed 2 months ago. And this follows a crew of janitors who were the sole survivor or not turned feral by some kind of biological threat. And it's about them finding out what happened many hundreds of years ago when humanity basically went feral and the Krakow saved them. And this follows up after that to discover more what happened and if something a creature claimed was true, if it actually is true. I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm so happy that this managed to get into my TBR, so I can get to it as soon as possible. Then we have another one that I just got for the Readathon, The Dragon with a Chocolate Heart by Stephanie Burgess. This is about a dragon who drinks some enchanted chocolate and gets turned into a human. I would also rather be turned back into a dragon. But chocolate is very... like, it's evil to do something with chocolate, just saying. So I have no idea what else this book is about, and I did find it cute looking at it. So yeah, we'll see what I think about it. I have also not heard anyone talking about this one. Then I have here Recursion by Blake Crouch. This is a book that's based on memories, and if you could rewrite them, if you could preserve some of them or something like that. And this is part of the BookTube SFF Awards. So if I want to be able to feel like I can vote for the science fiction category, I need to finish this one. I have not started it. It doesn't seem too bad though when it comes to page count. It's just over 300 pages. So yeah, and yeah, I do like the tagline, you remember it all, but these memories belong to someone else. It does sound really cool. So yeah. So then I needed to pick up because I forgot about these. These are 4 graphic novels that are continuations of series that I've already started. We have volume 4 and volume 5 of Descender, and I think there's 6 volumes in this one, and this one follows this one. The first volume starts when a bunch of really large, huge robots or AI are attacking a solar system, and the AI gets blamed for it, and the aliens start killing all of the AI off, but they still don't know why these giant robots came there, and they do think that this AI, if that's not another one of them, called Andy was the one he was friends with, brain fart, but they believe that he might be hold the answer to what happened those years ago. And then we have Wicked and the Divine, volume 5, Imperial Phase Part 1, and Imperial Phase Part 2, which is then volume 6. I have no idea what's going to happen in these two because volume 4 just ended at a huge, like, wait, what's going to happen? It was brilliant. So these follow, every 90 years, 12 gods get reincarnated. Note 12. And they wreak havoc. Most of the time. Sometimes. Yeah. It's very hard to explain, but definitely try to give the first volume a go because I absolutely love this series. So, no way. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the 19 books that I have out from the library. Technically I have one more, but that's for my mom, who's not in a position to unfortunately go out at this point in time. But these are the 19 that I have out for my enjoyment. Pray for me. Some of them will obviously get returned without me having read them. I'm just gonna see that it's as few as possible. Yeah. See you next time. Bye.